Good to see everyone. If it's your first time here, my name is Michelle Yasuda, and I am the program director for the Foundation for Conscious Living's Big Leap Home online programs. And these programs are all about generating agency, connection, and creativity on our shared planet. And so these calls, this call that you're on, is part of our Big Leap Bridge community, where we come together to play with Hendrix practices so we can learn and grow together. And I can't think of a better way to grow and learn together than with Bob and Marlene. So much fun, and I'm so excited for what's going to happen tonight. I'm going to go over a few logistics before that happens. So we have a community forum where you can find out about the latest Hendrix and Foundation for Conscious Living offerings. You'll be able to communicate with Katie Hendrix and the rest of our community. We have lots of coaches on there where you can ask questions and actually get answers to your questions. Maybe not answers to your questions, but you'll get ideas. You'll get some discovery and learning shared from some of us that have been in this field and playing with these tools for a while. So I'll put that link in the chat after I'm finished with the logistics, and feel free to join us. There's no cost to join that. So I wanted to let you know that if you have questions that come up during this call, please feel free to throw them in the chat, and I'll be keeping an eye on that. And if there's anything burning, I'll go ahead and let Bob and Marlene know. And we will hopefully have some time for questions at the end. I'll also post Bob and Marlene's email and web address so that you can get in touch with them if you walk away with any questions. So it is my great pleasure now to turn the call over to two magnificent human beings who I find are incredibly inspiring in the area of connection and play. And so I'm super excited to see what's going to happen tonight. And I know that I will leave expanded in my learning and my own presence and aliveness. And I'm excited for that to happen for all of us. So Bob and Marlene, take over the call.
Well, thank you very, very much, Michelle.
Thank you, Michelle. I always love seeing your smile and your excitement when you introduce us. It feels so yummy. So we're up here in Canada, and what was it, minus 30 something?
It's about minus 17 to minus 20 Fahrenheit a couple of, like 2 days ago. And tomorrow it'll be there again. Right now, it's a balmy, minus 5 or so. Anyway, it's not bad. We like it. We get out every day. Let's hope that you get out every day, no matter where you are. And hopefully it's a little warmer than here. So welcome.
So we were challenged on something we were on a couple months ago to present this topic. It's about feeling stuck. And I certainly have lots and lots of experience feeling stuck.
I can imagine most of us have lots of experience at being stuck.
And so I want to start by inviting you to think about a time when you felt stuck. So when I feel stuck, I'm usually up in my head. I'm usually on some form of hamster wheel with thoughts going round and round and round very, very fast. The same thoughts. They might have some element of poor me, bad me. Those tend to be the key ones for me. There could be a little bit of bad you, a little bit of how can I rescue me, but that just going round and round up here, and I'm sort of cut off from the rest of myself at that moment.
For me, it's somewhat different. When I'm stuck, it's like I'm disconnected with everything. It's and maybe it's not here, but it actually is here. But maybe it's over there.
Yeah, it's usually me.
It's over there. so I'm stuck with it. But how can I get back? So how about
So what does that feel like in your body?
I just go to the stuck, and what is it?
So like just feel that. I mean, I can right away start to feel my shoulders. You know, like I said, when I'm up here, I'm not even feeling my body. So one of the key elements for me is to start to even just ask the question, what does that feel like in my body? That sort of starts to get me a little bit out of my head. So you get a sense of what you feel like, what your signature is.
So what's the first step of getting out of stuck?
Right. We don't want to stay here.
It might be fun to stay. No, we don't want to stay here. So there's a lot of reasons to stay stuck, isn't there?
Oh, yeah. I can come up with many of them. There's been times when I've been stuck for like 3 days.
I don't like being stuck, but it's so familiar being stuck. And I have a lot of resistance in me to getting unstuck, which I need to recognize. I'm actually not interested in getting unstuck when I'm there.
So the first step is really to access willingness. Are you willing to get unstuck? And we have found that the best way to access willingness is play with unwillingness.
Because it's there. Because I don't want to get out of it. So how about I get into it?
So I'll just cross my arms and say, no, I'm not open to learning right now.
And me, it's, I'm open to learning. Can't you see it? I'm open to learning. You're not open to learning. I'm open to learning. You're not.
So that's our first, I guess, play move. At that moment, we're probably not even playing much. We're just exaggerating what's there. And even though, you know, it might be easy for us because we've been doing this for 20-some years now to pretend to be willing. But if I'm
good at that.
Let myself get unwilling and exaggerate that and, you know, just sort of hunker down a little bit and go, I'm not willing. I want to stay stuck. You can't make me.
I want to make you.
And I notice that I've stopped breathing. So join us in exaggerating your unwillingness. You know, I'm unwilling to learn anything tonight. I don't want to learn anything from this call. Somebody made me come. I don't like being here. This is not fun. You said this was going to be play.
What kind of play is this?
Yeah, not fun.
Okay, now.
You might want to move.
You might want to move a little
you
now.
You might find that you've gotten really tight in certain parts. You might find that you weren't breathing. You might want to exhale.
I like the exhale if I can do it, and I can usually do that.
We have some wristbands up there that say breathe, move, love. So accessing some breath by exhaling, moving a little bit.
Can I love myself?
Giving myself a few little kisses, first of all, for noticing that I was stuck.
Can I love my unwillingness? Not always, but I can usually blow out.
Exhale. And try unwillingness. You might want to generate some wonder, some curiosity. Am I willing to learn something about getting unstuck? Adding in some movement, creative joint play. And notice if you want to go back to unwillingness. And go back and forth between willingness and unwillingness and willingness and unwillingness. And I notice that when I start going back and forth, My unwillingness really hurts. My body is tight.
Ah.
So I don't know if the rest of you have changed, but you sure look friendlier to me.
All right. Ooh.
So willingness is a choice, and playing with unwillingness will often allow me to find my willingness.
And we've gotten into the habit of exaggerating it. And while that may seem a little bit strange at the beginning when you do it, exaggerating things a bit make them lighter.
And if you're in a relationship and you've got an agreement with your partner that you can do this, then your partner doesn't have to take it personally. I can just say, I'm not open to learning right now. And he recognizes what I'm doing. So he can go off and...
Yeah, sometimes it's just good to go off for a couple of minutes and go look in the mirror and go, bleh, and come back. Or, you know.
Or let me know when you're willing.
It's interesting, though, for us quite often, coming back in a couple of minutes, we're both more willing to engage. So anyway, there's a few ideas. So we'd like to do a few other activities to let go of stuckness. And one of the first ones is going to be, we're going to do a little tossing, which many of you know a lot about, but we're going to do it a certain way.
And there are some videos on tossing that Michelle can direct you to if you need to know more about tossing. But what we're going to do right here now is just do basic tossing. And we're part of a playback theater group, and we start almost all of our playback rehearsals with tossing. So in tossing, I'm going to do something with my hands. I'm just going to do something with my hand. I mean, I could be using a ball, but in this case, I'm using an imaginary ball. And I'm going to toss it to Bob, and he's going to catch it. And he's going to change it in some way. And then he's going to toss it to one of you. He's going to name you. And when you receive it, you're going to do what Bob was doing.
And I'm going to toss it to Rhonda.
Now, Rhonda, you just do what Bob was doing. And then when you're ready, change it to something else. And then toss it to somebody else.
I'm going to toss it to Fully.
And Furley, yes, you catch it.
Very good.
Change it, do something else with it.
There it's being changed.
And
toss it.
Michelle, if you can unmute her. Because she's ready to toss. Oh, she's going to unmute herself. Toss it to somebody else.
I'm going to toss it to Janet.
Janet, catch it. Change it. Do something with it. Have fun. Get ready. Janet's going to toss it to somebody.
I'm tossing it to Mari.
Oh, Mari.
I'm tossing to Greg and June.
Ooh, two people.
Oh.
And they disappeared.
Oh, they're
there.
there.
They're playing together with it. Oh my God. Look at that. Oh, they're bouncing it.
Oh my gosh.
So we're going to end there. Thank you.
Thank you.
Greg and June, that was great.
That was great.
It's become a bouncing ball. Congratulations to everyone who did some tossing. So between you, if you have a partner, tossing is a great way to change the energy. If you don't have a partner, you can do this on Zoom. It always changes my energy when I toss. But there's a particular form of tossing that's our favorite, that's connected to feeling stuck. And when we first learned this, I think Katie just called this the basic toss, but now I think she calls it stuck face. So stuck face involves taking your feeling of being stuck, exaggerating what your face is like, and then tossing that facial gesture to someone else.
So, for example,
So Bob's exaggerating his stuck feelings and putting them all in his face. He's got his shoulders in there too. And he's going to toss them to me.
And she's going to try mine, but then she's going to change her stuck face to something else, as you can see. And when she's ready with that, she's going to throw it over here. I'm going to try it on.
Bob's trying on my stuck face version.
Oh, and then it's going to go.
I'm trying on his version of stuck face, and you know, I don't ever usually let myself get this. It's really fun to.
I think it's changed.
So often stuck face changes to laughter. So that's our sort of basic little things we wanted, but the main part of the call is really something that we were invited to bring to the Big Leap. And it's a concept that we were introduced to. Our very first live Hendrix training was in 2002, almost 20 years ago.
Only yesterday.
Only yesterday. And at that point, Gay and Katie did all the trainings together, and Gay called it the Constellation Game. And I think he's written about it in one of the books as the Constellation Game. But we've sort of condensed it ourselves. I think Gay and Katie have condensed it, maybe taken some of the elements out. And we basically call this getting undefended.
And we think that getting undefended is a very key move to get into your own aliveness. It's a key move in learning getting undefended. To me, it's a key move in getting into a relationship with anything. You're undefended rather than defended. There's a lot of learning in being defended, you can see, right?
No.
No. So, but there's a lot of learning possibilities in being undefended.
So, for this particular part of this call, we need a volunteer. We need somebody who's going to be willing.
This one right there.
I saw a Rhonda McCoy.
Rhonda McCoy.
Okay.
Hey, great. You
Rhonda
are our
You're
person.
Our volunteer.
Yes. Unmute yourself, Rhonda. We're going to be.
She doesn't look very defended, but.
No.
She looks like she's already quite undefended. But we're going to actually invite you to let yourself think about a time when you were stuck. Think about an issue maybe that still gets you. You don't have to tell us what the issue is, but we want you to just let yourself immerse yourself, your body, your mind, your emotional parts in that issue. Yeah, you can feel it.
Great. And what I want you to do next after. Let's just see if we can get.
So I'm not sure whether you were trying to. Oh,
There you are.
okay.
Okay.
There she is. So
I'm in my
you're in your stuck place.
stuck place.
Great.
Okay.
Great.
And what we want you to do now is see if you can come up with a phrase which encapsulates the stuck thing.
Maybe the thought or what you hear in your head when you're stuck.
Too scary. Too scary.
Too scary.
Too
So
scary.
I'm too scary or I'm too scared.
It's too scary.
It's
too scary.
Okay.
Okay.
So when you're in the it's too scary place,
Or
All right.
can you give us a phrase about the thing that you're hearing that is scary? Like it could be something like you're stupid, you're not wanted.
I can't make it. I can't make it.
I
I
can't
can't
make it.
make it. Okay. There's a
And
good phrase there.
And if I change that a little bit to you can't make it, would that have some juice?
No, it's about me not surviving. So
Mm. So I'm trying to make it actually into a you phrase.
oh,
So you won't.
okay,
survive.
okay. So the situation. You're taking me down.
I'm
That's a
taking-
victim.
Yeah. So
You're going to take me
Going-
down. Going to. It's always about to happen. It never
Right.
finishes and is over. It's
How
always
about-
about.
how about you're going down? Does that have some juice?
Well, if the situation's going down, that means I'm going to thrive. So
But so what we're looking for is a phrase that we can play with.
okay.
That we can actually get
that
back
that
to you.
would get you stuck.
That would get me stuck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
Okay.
you're
I'm going down. So you
You're
can say
going
you're
down.
going
You
down.
are
you're-
going down.
You Rhonda are going down.
Oh, there it comes.
I think we're having already.
All right.
Yeah, we're having
So-
a good
so-
reaction here.
Yeah. So notice your defensive maneuver. Notice your defensive maneuver. Your defensive maneuver. You can feel it, right? Feel it in your jaw,
Really
your
do that.
fists. Your face got a whole bunch of color, so that you're going down
Yeah.
can bring up all kinds of defensiveness.
Yeah.
Whew. Okay. So you're not. So just stay with us. Stay with us.
Okay.
So here's some really important wisdom. So if somebody were to come to you and say, "Rhonda, you're going down," you would react, and you would believe that's real. So here's what I heard Gay Hendrix say to me 20 years ago. That statement, that sentence, is a thought and a puff of air. It's actually your act of getting defensive that makes it real.
Oh gosh.
So think of it this way. You get really solidified around that. And you're doing a great job, by the way.
But you'd have no need to get defensive if you didn't think it was real.
Oh my gosh.
But when you resist it, that locks it in.
Or if you agree with it, it locks in. Think of it on
Right.
both sides.
Right.
If you say, "Yeah, I'm going down,"
Oh.
then you believe it. Then you're really in that. Then
Muck.
it's really scary.
Yeah. Or just faint and go away.
Yeah,
Right, yeah,
faint,
I get it.
Appreciate
Faint.
faint, freeze,
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
Yeah. So
Wow.
we're going to give you some options.
Cool. I'm ready. My liver's ready. I'm like, that's all tight. Okay.
Love
Okay.
that.
So we want you to imagine that you're on the pitcher's mound of a giant baseball stadium.
Okay.
Here you are, standing on the pitcher's mound. The stands are full.
Remember, they're full of people and they're very noisy.
And they're yelling, Rhonda, you're going down. They're yelling, Rhonda, you're going down. You're ready to fight or faint. Run
Faint or freeze or flee like crazy.
That's right.
So the first thing we want you to do is, everybody's yelling at you, you're going down. We want you to catch it.
Okay.
Like we did in the first tossing. We want you to change it, do something with it, and toss it back. Toss it back at one of those. She's got this. Yeah, right. Whoa! What a toss!
Ski right.
Bleachers are high.
Yeah. Yeah. So,
Yeah. But they're still yelling. Rhonda, you're going down.
So here's what I want you to do this time.
Okay.
As they're saying, Rhonda, you're going down, I want you to do what's called the Aikido Move. And you're going to, it's coming at you, you're going to grab it, but you're going to pull it past you and put it behind you. Here goes. Rhonda, you're going down, and away you go.
Rhonda, you're going down. All right.
Okay.
Okay, they're still yelling. So this time we want you to just shake and shiver. Just shake every single part of your body. Just.
So here we go. Rhonda, you're going down. Great shiver. Wow. Wow. So, Rhonda, let's just pause there for a minute. There's three things that have come at you. You've reacted and
Cat caught it. You've let it go by, and you've shook and shook and shook.
And we're not going to ask you yet of what's going on, but it looks like something's kind of loosened already.
Yeah. On your face.
Yeah.
We want to try a few others because we want to give you more options.
So try this one.
That was the most playful one, though, and that really helped the most to play with.
Okay, good.
Wonderful. So we'll get back to that. That might be one of the ones you like to use regularly.
Okay.
Try because these things come back, right? They do. So here's another one. We know, quantum physics tells us, that although this looks really solid, there's a lot of empty space there. So think of your body and your being as having huge amounts of spaciousness. I grew up on the farm, and so I like to use the idea of chicken wire. And chicken wire had a lot of holes in it, and the chickens couldn't get through it, but just about everything could.
So just imagine this, Rhonda, you're going down, and you are so spacious. There is not one element of Velcro there. It is just pure chicken wire.
So, here it comes. Rhonda, you're going down.
She's just there.
She's big.
Big and spacious.
Yeah. Whoa.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, that's absolutely beautiful. Just watching you, Rhonda.
And now, we're going to invite you, for this is our last option, we're going to invite you to invite it in.
Invite it in?
Invite it in. But all your breathing and moving and chicken wires and just let yourself feel. Rhonda, you're going down. Just let it come in.
And you don't have to defend.
You don't have to defend.
You don't have to believe.
That message, you're going down. Who knows why that message was there? Maybe.
That's a real old message, I'm sure.
I'm sure, yeah. Whoever delivered that message the first time, They were just trying to maybe even protect you.
Wow. There's a little part of me that still rattles or is afraid it could start rattling if it's inside of me.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So
Oh,
I'd like to add some shake and shiver. That seemed to be one that really, really
yeah.
helped you.
Okay.
We found helpless. So see if you can add shake and shiver to the spacious. So how could spacious shake and shiver?
Oh, there we go. There we go. It's all in one big field. And I can romp wherever I want in that little sentence and those little words and that little meaning. Can be somewhere else in the field. Doesn't have to be inside my body.
So you're reminding me of an image that Gay likes to use of the 100-acre field.
I was just thinking the same thing.
And the bull. The bull is off in the corner of the field,
Ah.
snorting and stomping, and there's lots of space.
Yeah.
There's lots of
And you can
I'd
sort of
rather
say-
see it more like a little mouse, you know, little tiny field mouse that can go down in its hole and, you know, burrow if it needs to, but
tiny field mouse.
just so it doesn't, I need to impact my day and my running around in the field. I'm good. I think seeing it inside my body is a little too much like the tension. And so it's nice to have a separation, even though I know ultimately it'd be cool to see it all in me and none of it.
I mean, that's
affect me.
not necessary.
We actually believe that any kind of possibility of externalizing is probably useful.
Okay.
Yes, it
any
doesn't
kind.
have to be in your body.
Yeah.
It can be out there.
I'd rather be so above it all that it didn't matter that it was in me, but I'm not quite there yet. So this works. Yeah. Okay.
So anything you want to share with the group about this experience?
This is really helpful because these things do come up, you know, and I usually feel it in my body, you know, instantly. And then it's like, okay, now what do I do with it since it's in, you know, I'm feeling it. And I loved the playfulness that just like takes the seriousness out of it. And as soon as the seriousness is out of it, then it's like, oh, okay, it's just energy. Let's play with the energy. And do we need to zoom in or zoom out, you know, with this, like put it in another part of the field? Because still a little possibility that it could come up and start gnawing at me again.
And
but
you know, these things do tend to come back.
Yeah.
It's not like you get rid of it forever. You probably can't. There might even be like a part of you that could even say, yeah, sometimes I think that myself.
Yeah.
I'm afraid of it. Yeah.
I'm afraid of that.
Yeah.
You know, and there might be some you know, loving yourself.
Love scoops. Love scoops are just so wonderful.
Love scoops, that you can bring.
Yeah.
So you know, I think that the key is not thinking, well, now I'm done with that. Because that also solidifies it.
That's right. It's something to be done with instead of just
something that is.
Words that can have meaning or not, depending on what I'd like to create. It's amazing how much power we have. It makes me laugh because for so long I felt like I didn't have so much power. And it's like, no, actually, it's only because you've given it that it like has it. So it's like, it just makes me laugh when I think of that, because it's like, wow, I get to laugh at what has been the opposite of silly for so long. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
And to let it be silly is just like so refreshing. Yeah. Thank you. This has been really sweet. And I've really enjoyed watching the two of you and feeling the two of you banter back and forth. And it's like when it can be playful, like how playful you are, that just feels so loving to me. It feels like loving play, which is like, that's, loving play is part of the best of being human, and it makes me want to be here and want to be human rather than take the presents and run, which is not very human.
Right.
Yeah. So thank you so much for your wonderful role modeling and for the guidance through this. I really appreciate it. I'm still feeling a little bit of quaky here, so I'll just keep on.
Yeah, so just keep doing it.
Yeah.
We're gonna ask to go back to gallery view, because I saw some of you in the background doing some of these along with Rhonda.
We're really happy that you were doing that, and we'd like to spend a few minutes with you right now as a group. And we want to lead you through a bit of this as well. It won't be quite as detailed, okay?
So, we're just going to pick a generic phrase that maybe some of you have heard before, like "you're not good enough." And we're going to play with that, and we're going to invite you all to try on the key getting undefended moves. Right? So what we didn't do this with Rhonda is we didn't start with willingness, because she was pretty willing. Like, it felt to me like that was going to be sort of,
She really jumped in, didn't she?
She just jumped right into willingness. But we want you to access unwillingness to play with "you're not good enough." So we're going to be playing with "you're not good enough," and you see if you can access your "no, I'm not going to play. I'm not going to do anything. In fact, maybe I'll just turn my video off because I don't want to play. I don't want to do this.
It's stupid.
It's just, you can't play with "not good enough."
It's too serious. All right, just
not willing.
Be not willing for a bit.
And breathe. Exhale. Move. Give yourself a few little love kisses. And go back and forth between not willing and willing. Not willing and willing.
Just notice a difference in your body, particularly. Notice what willing's like. Unwillingness probably is really familiar. Willing.
What does willing feel like? I'm willing to play with not being good enough. Huh? I've been defended against not being good enough for 70 whatever years. Wow.
75 for me.
So this time, we're going to invite you to catch. We're going to throw "you're not good enough," and we're going to invite you to catch it.
And think of it, there's a whole host of people throwing this at you, not just
You're
us.
in the pitcher's mound of the Tiger Stadium, and everybody's throwing it at you. I grew up and I went to Tiger Stadium at least once a year. So I'm going to throw "you're not good enough," and you're going to catch it.
Here we go.
Change it.
You're not good enough.
Catch it. Do something with it. Change it. And throw it back at us. Ah, man.
Oh, some good throwing, yes. Yeah. Oh, excellent. Okay. All right. So that, for some people, that works pretty well.
Some people like to catch it.
Not everybody does, though.
It doesn't, come even at them.
Mm-hmm.
But the next one is the Aikido move.
Remember, you're going to, as it comes at you, you're going to grab it and allow it to go beside you and behind you. And just see what that feels like. You may want to do it several times.
Yeah, so just taking the energy and letting it go past.
So are you ready? Here it comes.
You're
not good enough.
Yeah,
Yeah.
whether if there's any left, just grab it again.
Just grab it. Yeah.
Keep grabbing.
Yeah.
Throw
Sometimes.
it, throw it back
Oh.
over your shoulder. Don't let it
Yeah.
even touch you.
Yeah. It's back over there.
And then the third one, the one that Rhonda really liked when we did it, was shake and shiver.
So
we're gonna
get
throw
ready.
You're not good enough, and you're gonna shake every single part, including your jaw. That's the best place to shake. Woo.
So.
All right, here it comes. You're
not
good
enough. No.
You're not good enough.
Got me going. Yeah. Wow. A lot of activity there. Woo. All right. I don't know about you, but there's a lot of heat coming out of my body right now. Oh.
Now the fourth one was to be like chicken wire.
Remember, you are not solid. You are not Velcro. You are empty space. And it's the spaciousness always speaks to me.
So make yourself as big and spacious as you could possibly imagine as we throw.
You're not good enough! Wow, a lot of spaces there.
Yeah.
I'm just noticing how large we all appear.
Wow. I noticed I took a deeper breath as everyone got spacious.
And I'm noticing some people are getting spacious and there's movement like shivering happening at the same time. Or shaking. And think of that bull is on the 100-acre field and he's way out there somewhere.
Or the little tiny mouse, the field mouse, is in the way corner of the field and got her little hole sitting. She's
way
sitting
over
right
there.
out of her, peeking out of her
You're
little
not
hole.
good enough. You're not good enough.
Okay.
Number 5 was to breathe, let it in.
And any of these things could be used, but you're actually letting it in. And it's
because there's some little maybe gem here, something for you, something that needs to be loved.
So get ready because it's coming your way. Here it comes again.
You're not good enough! Breathing, moving. Let yourself feel the feelings. Adding in any of the other moves, adding in shaking or tossing it away or Aikidoing it. Letting yourself sort of just know that it's there. It might, this might always be there. There might be some really special thing that you can learn from this. Might be something that needs to be loved.
And I'm appreciating that so many of you actually got up and did it. You didn't have to get up. We didn't. We're actually doing all this movement in our chairs, which is fine. But some of you actually moved all over the room.
Which was great.
Which is great, yeah.
Really great. Now, one of the things I noticed is that by yelling, "You're not good enough," this many times, I've loosened that for me. So, sometimes I'll do it in the mirror with myself. So just the voicing of it for me already loosened it for me. Letting myself say that thing that I don't want to let myself think. You're not good enough.
And for me, it's you're not doing enough either.
Well, we could go into that one next if you wanted.
No.
We want to give people a chance for questions. Before we do, I just want to sum up with, why is this not more popular? Why do we not learn this all in school? Why is this not something that is being modeled all over the place? And, you know, this is one of the things that I wrote down when Gay said it, and one of the things I keep telling myself over and over and over. It's because I think that I have to defend against it, or it will become true.
Think about it. It will become true if I defend myself.
If I
or I
don't
believe it.
If I don't defend myself, I think it will become true, but the opposite is actually the case. By defending myself against it, I make it real.
It actually lodges in my body.
But if there's any hint of you're not good enough, if I, in my words, make up a story that Bob's thinking I'm not good enough, I think it's true. And then I have to defend against it.
But what if the opposite is true? By not defending, it can just be there. It's a puff of air. It's a thought. It's a bit of energy floating.
And that's where that, I've had that thought myself. Usually, in my case,
yeah, that
it's
was
not,
Mari that posted
I think
that.
Mari posted
had that thought
one.
myself. Yeah.
You know, usually in my case, it's not Bob saying I'm not good enough.
I might not even be thinking it.
He might not even be thinking it. It's me making up a story based on what I'm seeing over there or hearing over there or imagining over there that changes it in my mind to he's saying it, then I have to defend against it. So we want to give you an opportunity for questions. I don't know if there's any questions, Michelle, that have already come in, or if people want to just jump in right now.
I didn't see any questions going by, so if anybody has
Mari.
a comment or question, here we go.
Mari.
I just want to, I do have a question, but I do have a comment just on what you just said. Like, usually something's not even going to bother me if it's not over here an issue, right? That's what I hear you saying. So
yeah,
awesome.
Yeah, that's so true. It's so true. Like if somebody would say to me, "You're too old," I'm 70. If you're too old to give this presentation, it wouldn't even touch me.
Yeah.
But there's lots of other things that somebody could say that I would clench around. Go ahead, Maury.
And the last one, I didn't quite get it. I don't know that story, the 100-acre thing or this. And I know Rhonda said about the small mouse, but I didn't actually get what that one was. So if you could just describe that one in more detail.
Yeah. Well, Gay used to tell this story about, if you were in a very small enclosure with a raging bull.
That's dangerous.
It's dangerous. It's scary.
It's going to hurt you, isn't it? It's going to knock you down. Yeah. You don't want to be in real close with that.
So if you can create space and, the space of the large meadow with the tiny little mouse, or the space of the 100-acre field with the bull way over there, the bull can be yelling.
The bull can be running and knocking things down, but I can sit on the fence and say, there's a bull over there.
Thank you. That puts it together. I get it now.
Okay. Thank you for bringing that up. Yeah. Other questions? Rod's got one.
I'm amazed how when I let go of words and start moving, that's just such a transformative thing. Because I'm so clever with words and I can manipulate and explain, and I'm really, really good at being right. And when I don't have the words, I'm going to let go of the words. And then if I had silliness, which I'm pretty good at as well, then suddenly it opens up space, it opens up air, it opens up my jaw. I saw, I guess it was Greg at one stage early on doing something with his jaw, and I thought, oh yeah, there's a lot held there. So I just appreciating that shift from, and I noticed also the idea of the first thing, taking it and then throwing it back, that feels to me like, oh yeah, I'll show you. It feels aggressive to me. Like I'm gonna, so I guess some of these will fit better for each person.
That's right.
For your anyway, I just that lesson, I keep reminding myself that I just let the words drop out, and that's just magic. So thanks for that.
Good. Thank you, Rod. And you know, we tried 5 different things. There could be others, of course, but in terms of preferences, people catching it and throwing it back is not the biggest preference for sure.
It works for us because we do so much tossing.
Mhm.
So, you know, if I throw it at Bob, if I throw anything at Bob, he's going to tend to take it and change it.
Mm.
Because that's just part of what we've been doing for 20 years now.
Mm.
But if it doesn't work for you, don't use it.
Oh,
You know,
absolutely.
I still remember one time when very early on when we were doing something, and I tossed something energetically at Bob, and he took it and he flushed it down the toilet. I was so angry. How dare he? I was just livid. And I remember,
I thought it was a great move.
I think I even told Katie what he had done, like how dare he do this? And she said, well, you know, you could have run into the basement, or you could have gotten the plunger, or you could have, like, there's all kinds of things you could have done with that. And so, I mean, just recognizing that there's always a creative something that could be done.
So what she did, which I thought was creative also, was she got the triangle cards out and sat on victim for the next half hour. And I thought that was brilliant. It was brilliant. I just kept flushing toilets, but you know, she sat there and said, "This is where I am." And I remember wandering around the house doing other things. So it worked. It moved things. There was change.
So we've learned a lot since then, and we've certainly incorporated way more play. One of the things that we've done a couple of online courses, which I think Michelle is going to put up through a program called Soul at Play. And one of the things that we often recommend to people is to drop the words and go into gibberish. So if you were in our house, you might hear us suddenly.
I do a lot of growling in my house.
Yeah, I mean, it's so much better to hear growling than to hear a blame story.
Yeah. Sometimes I'm a raccoon and sometimes I'm a badger.
Badgers are scarier.
Badgers are scarier. They're deeper growls. Yes. Any other questions?
Does this feel doable? I mean, you know, it does require practice. It's not going to be graceful. People will say, well, it was awkward. It's not going to be graceful the first couple times you do it. It might not go well.
And you know, frankly, use some of the ideas. You don't have to use every single thing, although you can watch this again if you want. But to me, there's a number of ideas here and moves which are about letting things loosen in you.
And you know, we've been working with couples now as a couple for 20 years, and often couples, they may have been to other therapists, and they've sort of gotten the idea that they have to be kind, they have to be nice, they can't say that, they can't criticize each other, and they're so careful around each other that they're not having very much fun. And our specialty right now is sex, and they're certainly not having a lot of sex when they're so careful. So doing some of this stuff gets you out of that thing about, well, I can't think that thought, I can't say that thought, I can't like, you know, Bob says he's not doing enough, I can't have the he didn't do enough thought, because sometimes I have that thought because he didn't do it, you know. And so letting myself into that, but expressing it in a way that's lighter, more fun.
That's the key, right? And so this is all about lightness and play here. There's just a whole bunch of ideas of how to get yourself lighter.
Any last question, comment? Well, I want to thank you for showing up.
Oh yeah, and I really thank you for
Rhonda,
getting
Rhonda McCoy.
yes.
Just want to say thank you so much. That was really, really instructive for me, and I want to thank you because I'll be playing with this more. And I loved that you gave us so many different options so that we could find our own way, or maybe even integrate a couple of them into one. You know, this part of it works for me. You know, it works to shake, but I also like being spacious. So maybe, like you said, you can spaciously shake, or and let it be something that you love. So it's really cool to be able to play with combinations of the options too. And I just want to thank you so much for being here and for offering what you do.
Thank you.
It's healing to see people have so much fun with challenges. It's really inspiring. Thanks.
Thank you.
I just had the thought that I'm appreciating all the different options as well, because it's like now I have a choice, so I don't have to take it on and either resist or agree with it. Now I can, you know, catch it and then throw it away, or be super spacious or wiggle or whatever. So thank you for that.
Yes, and these talks are often up soon, Michelle. There will be a recording. You made a recording, and so
It'll be on there.
It'll be so you can watch it again, try it on, you know, share it with a friend. What do you think of this?
Just want to say it's really fun to play and move in community.
Mhm.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I think that's wonderful too. We so need that.
We hope that you watch the Soul at Play site, where our next adventure is going to be a presentation where we're with people, like, rather than an online course. So we'll get hopefully more opportunities to do this kind of playing.
Thank you, Bob and Marlene. That was wonderful. I had so much fun playing tonight, and really appreciating everyone coming and playing together, actually participating. And that's what I love about our community. We're willing to get vulnerable together and play. So appreciating each one of you, and invite you to stay connected to our community through the network. So you can save the chat if you want to find that link, if you're not on there. And thank you, Bob and Marlene. And if everybody wants to unmute and say goodbye, feel free. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.
You.
Very powerful. Thank you.
Thank you.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
Hey, Rhonda.
Thank you.
Hey, Rod. Hi, Judith. Bye, guys. Hey, Vandana, Mari, everybody.
Bye,
Bye, darling. Thank you.